Hi, and welcome to the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce Member Connection. I am your president, Eric Knowles, but before we get started, a word from one of our sponsors.
This is garbage, and you probably think all of it just goes to waste. But in Miami-Dade, we convert most of what you throw away into energy. In our waste-to-energy facility, we can turn about 90% of your everyday garbage into reusable fuel.
Levels look good.
That creates clean electricity for our community. Enough energy to power 35,000 homes. Pretty illuminating, huh? In Miami-Dade, nothing goes to waste.
And every time you see me and every time I come on here, I tell you how excited I am. But today is very special because I get to work with these two people, these two individuals, each and every day doing what we do. Hey guys.
Hello, how you doing? Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning.
It's great to see you both, Gina and Matthew. And both of them have a very important role at the chamber. And I'm going to let the, as they say, age before beauty. So Matthew, you've been with the chamber longer than Gina. Gina actually is a new member of the chamber, and you've been around as the manager of membership and manager of technical assistance. Mm-hmm. And Gina just came on board as a technical assistance manager with the Small Business Development Center. But we'll get started with you. How you doing?
I'm loving life.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be working with the chamber and here on this program.
Right. So you have a very important role. Both of you have very important roles because you are probably the first point of contact that a lot of our members engage in. And in a lot of instances, they're not even members of the chamber. You're just engaging with the business community at large. So tell us a little bit about the membership engagement and what it means to the chamber, Matthew.
So my role at the chamber is that I am the front-facing person for all of our engagement with our members and small businesses that want to come into the chamber. And what we do is we make sure that small business owners in South Florida have a place they can go to network with other business owners and learn about different resources and opportunities that they have locally in Miami-Dade County, South Florida, and also some national opportunities. So my biggest role is to make sure that when small business owners are looking for assistance and help, I'm there to be that guide for them and introduce them to all the resources and opportunities that we have at Miami-Dade Chamber and also through a lot of our partners.
Right. So a lot of resources, and that's what we are. We are a resource organization. A lot of it we do, but we have a lot of partners in that process as well. You want to talk about that?
Yes, our partners is what brings the value of the chamber because one of the things that we're big on doing is making sure that small business owners have access to capital and government contracts and corporate contracts. So we have strategic partners with Miami-Dade County, Miami-Dade Public Schools, a partner for self-employment, the Florida Minority Supplier Diversity, the Miami-Dade Economic Advocacy Trust. So many of these institutions are the gateways to contracts, to grants, to loans, and we're the ones that help business owners to make the connections with these agencies and get them prepared to step correct to these partners and institutions. And one of the beauty about being here at the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce and being a member of the Chamber of Commerce is because we're like at the epicenter of all these different partners and agencies, from governments to nonprofit organizations and corporations. And we serve as that gateway. And we continuously are building those partnerships and developing them so that our members and also those who come to us for assistance can understand what's the best way to approach and connect with these partners.
And I'm going to come back to that again in terms of connecting. But I'm going to switch over to Gina. Gina, you're brand new with us.
Yes, I'm very glad to be here and to be able to continue assisting the small businesses in Miami-Dade. The new program manager for the Miami-Dade Navigator program. It's a program that started based on the America's Recovery Act of 2021. And it's a program that is led by the SBDC at FIU, together with 5 more local businesses that provide support, as far as technical assistance to small businesses in Miami-Dade, to specifically cater towards minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, LGBT community businesses, as well as veteran businesses.
Right. So the SBDC, Small Business Development Center, they've been around a long time at FIU, but recently they, as you said, through going through the pandemic and a number of things that has taken place, this Navigator program was created. And as you said, the chamber is number one of one of the spokes in the Navigator program. And why is it important that we have this Navigator program?
I think, the beauty of the program is that all the different local partners have been working, and helping businesses, but there's now it's more institutionalized, where each one of the partners refer to each other. It becomes more like a bigger team to help the businesses in Miami-Dade succeed. So from one helping with their business plan, to getting them access to financing, to marketing, to government contracting. So the spokes and the hub, which is the SBDC at FIU, we work together, and so.
Right. Now, Matthew, going back to this whole thing about members, I mean, chambers, it's all about the membership. Otherwise, there's no chamber. And as you said, being able to connect the membership to the opportunities. But there's I would say, a misnomer. A lot of folks don't know exactly what chambers do. Mm-hmm. So can you explain that a little more? A lot of people may join a chamber and they're there for a year. We talk about this all the time. Mm-hmm. And they say, well, I didn't get anything out of it. And the one thing that I say, if you don't put something into something, you're not going to get anything out of it. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
But you hit it right on the head. At the end of the day, a chamber is an organization just like every other organization, and you have to join it and be a part of it if you want to really take advantage of it. And with the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce, being a member of the chamber, and what that actually means is that you have the opportunity to be connected to resources. We're the people that connect the dots between contracts and opportunities to grant programs, loan programs, and we connect you with other business owners. So we do a host of events that provide networking opportunities where you can network with other business owners and people that are in our community, along with corporate partners and government agencies. And these events range from Zoom events online, where we talk on our small business meetup every Tuesday at 4:00, to our 4 major annual events. So going to those events gives you an opportunity to, number one, sponsor, to get your name out there in front of a large amount of business owners, and also to network. And then also you're part of our listserv. So we get newsletters that we send we're the first ones to know about many opportunities, because when these corporations, when government agencies, when they're first starting to launch their programs, they come to us because we're the Black and Minority Chamber, and they want our businesses and organizations. So what we do is we're the ones that send that out so that you know what's happening. And then lastly is the engagement. And this is through our committees.
Right.
So we create spaces in which business leaders within their industries, whether that be advocacy, nonprofit, marketing, South Dade, they can come together, talk about issues within their particular industry, and then figure out what they can do together, leveraging the power of the chamber and our networking members.
And you talk about committees. Let's go a little deep. We kind of skipped around that a little bit, because I know there are, as I say, a plethora of chambers in every city, every town, every area. We have the Greater Miami Chamber, we have the Coral Gables Chamber, and we're a member of the coalitions of chambers, which Key Biscayne Chamber, Chamber South, there's a Haitian American Chamber, the North Miami Beach Chamber, Aventura. So for chambers to be around, and that many chambers, it's got to be something, chambers are doing something right. Exactly. So, but how do they do that right? And I know a lot of that is done through committees. Talk about committees a little bit more.
So we run our committees. We give the members an opportunity to really put forth what they believe is the most pressing issue for their particular industry. So it's those in the room that make decisions on the direction of how that committee is going to go. So we have 12 committees, and I'm going to give you an example of some of them and what they do. First is our advocacy committee. The advocacy committee, they wanted to open up government procurement for minorities in the bidding process and also know about these opportunities. So what they did, they leveraged our board appointments we have as a chamber along with their own personal board appointments. And they now sit on these different boards from Miami-Dade County, Miami-Dade Public Schools, City of Miami, City of Miami Beach. And they use their monthly committee meetings to debrief from all those different committees, which makes them one of the most knowledgeable when it comes to government procurement in Miami-Dade County, because they're constantly hearing from all these people. And then they use best practices from one area to take to and propose to another, right? Which is different from our construction committee. Our construction committee, they said they want to raise the capacity of construction contractors in South Florida. So they made a big commitment to raise their revenues by $1 million. So how would they do that? It's like, you know what? We're going to target billion-dollar construction opportunities at major institutions like Jackson Health, University of Miami, FIU, Brightline, and then have direct connections with the decision makers of those places to let them know that there are contractors and figure out what we need to do to get our contractors ready to take advantage of those opportunities.
Right.
Okay.
Go ahead. No, finish.
Which is different from our education committee. Our education committee, they wanted to create spaces for more educational professionals to network, because they found that while they're teachers, they're principals, they're education consultants, there's nonprofit organizations, many of them operate in their own silos. So they wanted to create spaces in which networking opportunities where these professionals can come together to make connections, to learn best practices from the teachers, from the principals, to the nonprofit leaders, and make those connections. So they're doing networking opportunities, and they just had one this past Monday at Red Rooster.
Right. But Gina, I'm gonna jump back over to you talking about SBDC and technical assistance. We know that a lot of businesses were left behind when it came to when the pandemic hit, and we're talking about PPP and EIDL. And the one thing that I talk about is the fact that, again, a lot of our businesses don't have the back of their house together. So talk about that and what the SBDC is doing to change that dynamic.
Sure. Again, it's one, providing the technical assistance to get ready, one for access to financing, for example, where not necessarily if their credit is okay and or they don't have their back in order to get them ready for stuff like getting access to financing. I mentioned business plan, crucial. Their financing, their books need to be in order. And at the time during the pandemic is when it was needed, but now is even more. You have to always be ready for when you know, it, you know, the access to finance is needed. So you need to be prepared for that. And that's where, programs like the Navigator program and all the partners involved are key, you know.
Okay. Go ahead, Matthew.
To piggyback on that, one of the things that Gina and I do is that we're the people that small business owners can go to and be very frank about their situation.
Right.
And we can tell them how to get their back end right, how to prepare for these opportunities and take advantage of these contracts and get their back end. So we're that source, because a lot of times there are workshops, there are programs that people go through, and they're just like have all this information.
Right. Inundated with all kind of information coming from one side to the other side. Now what do you do with that information?
Exactly. And what we do, we sit down one-on-one with those business owners, identify what's their highest priorities, and then help them step by step to implement the information that they learn from these different places, and then make connections to those different institutions like branches, Ascendus, and these other partners that we have in the Navigator program.
Right. Because as you said, branches and these other programs, some of them actually are CDFIs.
Correct.
And they provide loans. Some of them actually provide grants. So the one thing that I say, it's better to be prepared and not need money versus not being prepared and needing money.
Exactly.
So when I say that, explain that to some folks.
So the process for accessing capital, if you're not going in a conventional market, can take time.
Right.
Almost between 3 to 90 days, sometimes 6 months.
Right.
And so usually when you need money, you need it now.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I need to purchase this marketing
Right.
campaign.
Exactly.
I got to do this video. I need a printing and all this stuff. I need to hire this employee. So you want to be prepared to make sure that all your documents, whether it be your profit and loss statements, your licenses and certifications, your business plan, and also your pitch to these places, how you talk to them, you want to be prepared so that when you need that funds, you can just click, send this information, and then go through the process from there. And that dramatically reduces the time it takes for you to get that check in your bank account.
Right. So you don't want again, you don't want to have a need and not have been prepared. You want to be able to have built the relationships with your banker, built the relationship with your marketing team, built these relationships, because you never know when an emergency is going to come about. And so when that emergency hits, all you have to do is push the button.
Very true.
Right.
Very true.
So what's new? What's next with the chamber?
Oh man. So what we do have coming up this weekend is our Little Black Dress and Pearls.
Well, actually, that'll be passed by the time we be
on. That's past. Oh.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
Right. So we have 2 other events moving forward, our annual golf tournament and then our gala. Okay. Those are the 2 things that we'll be having moving forward. We're looking to secure more funding for our technical assistance program so we could put on a series of workshops. And coming up, we have a few workshops that are focused on, are you ready for government contracting?
Right.
And how to market to your ideal client. Okay.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to get in touch with you, Matthew?
I would encourage them to either call our office or go to our website, www.m-dcc.org. And you can go to our services page and technical assistance to schedule one-on-one with either of us. And also you can sign up to our listserv. But the best way I think I would encourage everyone is to join our small business meetups every Tuesday at 4:00. You don't have to be there. You can listen in. It's on Zoom. And you're meeting with 20 to 40 small business owners, and we talk about a variety of topics. Okay. And you get so much support from that. You'll know all the events that we have coming up, and also you'll connect with other business owners and know what the chamber has.
All right. And Gina, same thing.
To get in contact me directly is G Ortella at m-dcc.org. and or you can call the office as well.
Okay. If you want to know more about the chamber, like Matthew said, www.m.dcc.org, or call the chamber at 305-751-8648. This has been the Miami-Dade Chamber Member Connection.